Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again and welcome to another video. And for this video I'm going to be doing a contest entry into Glyn or Glyn CR84's contest for his 100 subs. So guys, if you're not subscribed to Glyn, I highly recommend doing so, and I'll be leaving his channel link in the description box below. He does great videos, very well presented, and you know, he has quite a knowledge on movies. He talks about movies that he's picked up and such, and yeah, just a really great guy to get to know and talk to. So head on over and subscribe, and why not support his contest at the same time. So he's giving away a couple of great prizes, and yeah, the question that he wanted to know was what is your top 10 favourite movies from the year 2000 up into the year 2010. You know, pretty straightforward question, but a not so easy task to pick the movies. I love doing these top favourite lists, and I love seeing other people do them. So yeah, definitely had to enter this one, Glyn, and show some support. So I've decided to cover a range of different genres. Everyone knows horror's my favourite, but I do enjoy a lot of other genre films. So this is spread widely across the board, and these are just 10 completely different of my favourite movies from the year 2000 up into 2010. So let's get into it. So the first one is There's Only One Jimmy Grimble. This is probably my favourite British film. It is very good. You know, it's got Robert Carlyle, who as always does a fantastic performance. The rest of the cast are fairly unknown, especially to me. But anyway, this movie centres around a high school student called Jimmy, who makes it onto his school soccer team or football team. And you know, one day he comes across some old school boots that are supposedly magic and make him play really well. And it's basically about his team making it to the finals. You know, it is kind of similar to a lot of sport movies. However, it does differ slightly because the team doesn't start out as the worst team. They're just an all-round, pretty middle-of-the-road, average team. You know, they're not the worst, they're not the best. So it does differ slightly. But yeah, this is a very good one. So if you haven't checked this one out, I definitely recommend it. The next one is Toy Story 3. Now, I'm not a massive animation fan, and I'm not that big into Pixar, but the Toy Story movies are definitely the best work in my opinion. And you know, I grew up on Toy Story 1 and absolutely loved the movie. But anyway, Toy Story 3 I thought was an absolutely fantastic end to the trilogy. They finished it off nicely, and yeah, it's a very good movie. And you know, it's an animated movie obviously on Blu-ray, so it's going to look phenomenal, and it definitely does. But yeah, Toy Story 3, great movie. The next one we have is Taken with Liam Neeson. This is an action revenge flick. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but if you haven't, you need to check it out. You know, it is popular, but then at the same time it is fairly underrated, I think. So yeah, if you haven't checked this one out, I highly recommend it. Definitely one of my favourite action movies, and quite possibly my favourite Liam Neeson role. He was absolutely incredible in this movie. Fantastic performance. But yeah, this one is very good. The next one we have is Pan's Labyrinth, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Glyn also showed this in his video when he was talking about his top 10 favourite movies, and for good reason. You know, this is a brilliant movie. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, you know how good it is. But yeah, amazing Spanish movie, very dark fairy tale storyline about a young girl who moves with her mother and her stepfather to the countryside. She basically escapes the brutality of the stepfather by escaping into a fantasy land where she meets a faun who sets her 3 rather brutal tasks to complete. Very, very good, and I highly recommend it. Had to put an Australian movie in here, and I had to go with Wolf Creek. One of the best Australian movies in my opinion, and the best Australian horror in my opinion. Very, very good movie, great characters, great storyline, and this one's based on a true life serial killer called Ivan Milat. The character that plays the serial killer in this one of the most creepiest film characters I've ever seen, especially his laugh. But yeah, Wolf Creek, if you haven't seen this movie, I definitely recommend it. I mean, I say that for each one, obviously I recommend them, but yeah. Anyway, next up we have A Single Man, probably my favourite drama movie, and easily my favourite drama movie in the past, 10 to 12 years, or in modern drama cinema. Very, very good, with Colin Firth, who does an absolutely incredible role with his character in this one. Fantastic performance from him. All round, the cast is very, very solid. It's a fairly depressing storyline, but a very important one, I think, and it definitely covers the subject matter absolutely fantastically. This is very, very beautifully shot. There's some absolutely beautiful looking scenes throughout this movie. So, obviously I recommend it, like I just said before with all these movies. However, this is not going to be a movie for everyone. But, I definitely love it. Back to some action. We have The Expendables. Definitely my favourite modern action movie. This one's fantastic. Again, I'm sure most people have seen it. It brings all the good old school action stars back together, and there's some amazing action sequences in this one. And my favourite character in this is easily Christmas, who's played by Jason Statham. Absolutely fantastic role. But yeah, love Expendables, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel. Okay, next up we have Hatchet 2. You guys have heard me talk about this movie a lot before, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. It is the sequel to Hatchet, obviously, and absolutely brilliant. I would probably consider this to be my favourite modern slasher movie. I just thought it was fantastically done, and has so many elements that I love about the genre. High body count, fantastic kills. Definitely I'd consider this movie to have the best kills in any modern slasher. Just fantastic, really, really gory, and I really enjoyed the more mature cast in this one as well. So love Hatchet 2. Had to put a sci-fi in here, and Pandorum definitely stood out as a modern sci-fi movie that really, really impressed me. This is a sci-fi horror, and it nails the genre perfectly. Very, very atmospheric, very creepy. It's definitely a bit of a mindfuck movie as well. Very similar to Event Horizon, so if you are a fan of that movie, well, I definitely recommend checking this one out. But this is a very, very good movie, and it basically covers everything very, very well. So Pandorum, excellent film. And the last one is what I consider to be the best revenge movie ever made, and that is the Korean movie I Saw the Devil. This movie absolutely blew me away, and I know quite a few people have seen this over the past year, but if you haven't, I highly, highly recommend it. Now, obviously being a Korean film, it's the dialogue is not in English, obviously, so it's English subtitled, but don't let that put you off. This is an absolutely top-notch revenge movie. The brutality in this movie is crazy. You know, the storyline is fantastic. It is a little on the long side, but other than that, I think it is an all-round pretty much perfect movie in terms of a revenge flick. So well done. Great camera work, and yeah, as I said, very, very brutal. I love the fact in this one how the guy, you know, he eventually finds the person. Basically, the storyline behind this one is someone has basically taken it upon themselves to seek revenge over his wife's death, and he eventually tracks the serial killer down and basically plays a cat and mouse style game with him, where he'll catch up with him throughout the movie, you know, do really prolonged torture on him, then let him go, and repeat the process. Very, very good. So I definitely recommend checking this one out. I absolutely love it. So there you have it, guys. That is my entry for Glyn. I hope you've enjoyed it. And once again, if you are not subscribed to Glyn, I'll be leaving his channel link in the description box below. So head on over and check him out, and make sure you support his contest at the same time. So thanks for watching.